Alright. Back in this thing. Where are we at? Find out who holds the strings. Power always exists in concentrated forms. In any organization, it is inevitable for a small group to hold the strings, and often it is not those with the titles. In the game of power, only the fool flails about without fixing his target. You must find out who controls the operations, who is the real director behind the scenes. As Richelieu discovered at the beginning of his rise to the top of the French political scene during the early 17th century, it was not King Louis VIII who decided things, it was the king's mother. And so he attached himself to her and catapulted through the ranks of the courtiers all the way to the top. It is not enough to strike oil once. Your wealth and power are assured. It is enough to strike oil once. Your wealth and power are assured for a lifetime. Daily law. When looking for the sources of power to elevate you, look for those who really control the operations. They are not always who you think they are. Once identified, attach yourself to them. That's from the 48 Laws of Power. I see this a lot at every job I've been at. There's always there's the main managers that are very high up, but you rarely see them. And then there's the direct manager, who you see pretty often, but not as much. And then there are the leads. And the leads are the ones that are in direct contact with the employees the most. They're the go-between between the regular employees and the first manager up. So they're like a mini manager, but without the title of manager, they're a lead. And they tend to be not so much in power, but to a certain degree in control. Because if I have to say something to somebody, my lead will be the first one to go to. So at a bunch of different jobs, there's positions like this that I've been at. And it seems to be that there is always a little group of hangers-ons, I think, is the phrase that people use for them. So that's funny how that works out. That's always in play, that dynamic. Let's see. We're at here. What can I read? I don't know. War is the continuation of politics by other means. That's a good quote. Yeah, I'm not so good at playing all these little political games. I can see them happening, but I don't want to get involved. Because I don't like the people that play like that. And I can, but I don't like who I become when I do that. I feel like an evil little person. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want people to see me as that kind of person. So that's why I don't do it. Nah, kind of what I prefer it that way. I honestly am curious as to how people see me. I wonder what people say behind my back about me. I've never really thought about that until now. How do I come off to other people? I don't know. I'm always laughing, so they probably think I'm a bit of a goofball. I'm always reading interesting stuff and telling them about the things that I read, so they probably a bit blown away by some of that stuff. Um, I don't know. I don't know how people see me. I hope in a good way, but I can't control that, so I don't think much about it. But yeah, the whole King's Court thing is very interesting. When you read that book, the Art of Seduction, you learn all about that. And it's like a bunch of like social maneuvering, like saying certain things to certain people in a certain way, but none of it is ever like genuine. It's like this certain person's into things or whatever, so you pretend to be into it too, to curry favor, and it's just a big old game of being fake. That's why I think back then is like when they used to have those huge masquerade parties, and if you think about that, it's like the whole idea is to wear a mask, right? You're not showing people who you really are, so you wear a mask. And I guess everybody does that. I guess that's all. Most of all of life is nothing but that, wearing masks. I'm not too good at wearing masks. I don't know. I guess to a certain degree, I guess that's why it feels like most of the time, like I'm on the outs. I guess is the phrase. I'm never in the in group because I don't wear masks. People like me don't tend to be welcomed into the group. I think. I don't know. That's speculation. Could have nothing to do with anything, but that could be it. Don't make me step on the gas. I don't feel like speeding. Okay. That's funny too, because I woke up thinking about music for whatever reason, but then remembering that I can't play music on the way to work because I do these recordings. But the song in my head was called Masquerade. It's a EDM song. Yeah, that whole period of time in the King's Court was all about intrigue and like game playing, kind of weird. Not weird, but like just it's an odd way to live life because none of it's based on truth. And you build like this whole social structure on a foundation of like just fakery, like just it's all a facade and none of it's real. But that's the front you put forward into the world, and then if the truth comes out, everything just comes tumbling down. It's crazy. And to be honest, that's what it kind of felt like I did for about 12 years of my life when I was married. In my past life, as I like to reference it. That was pretty much just not pretending, but I wasn't genuinely happy. So I guess, it's kind of faking it. And everybody around me was happy when that was going on. When I was being not genuine to myself, everyone was happy. But when I started being genuine to myself, that's when everything fell apart. For everybody else, I felt great. And even though it looked like things were getting destroyed and broken, I never felt stronger. So it's funny how that worked out. And all that came about because I found out a bunch of lies that were floating around me. Yeah, the truth was being withheld from me. That's why I don't lie. You don't have to worry about anything if you don't lie. You know you told the truth. Go around these guys. Front of that guy. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I heard this was interesting. So now, like, if you're making videos on social media, like now you can't even sing a song. You can't even like sing like a little part of a song because now they'll flag it for copyright strike. Same as like playing the actual song. Like if I was to turn the radio on right now, like say I was monetized. If I was to turn the radio on right now and it was playing like a song on like just regular, normally I have it on classical. I don't even know if they can do that for classical music. But say I was just playing like regular, whatever, modern day songs. It can get flagged and I can get the video at least will get demonetized. But now the same goes for just me just happening to sing a small section of a song. Now they're going to demonetize that. So now I'm wondering, okay, so now I'm reading out of this book. That's kind of like saying the lyrics to a song. Is that worthy of a copyright strike too? I don't know, but it's a good question. It's all getting so retarded. At some point, everything that can ever be said or thought or sung is going to be out there in the world. It's like, you can't copyright everything. I mean, I guess you can, but screw you. That's not fair. I guess just you don't get monetized. Can't make money. So yeah, now that I just said that, I'm pretty sure all the videos I'm making right now where I'm reading out of this book, since it's copyrighted material, probably can't monetize any of this. I honestly don't care. I like what I'm learning as I read, and I like relaying my thoughts as I read it. To be honest, why wouldn't they want me to do that? Like, because I'm giving. To be honest, this is Robert Greene. The author is Robert Greene, and if Robert Greene generates more sales because I'm out here reading from his book, wouldn't he want that? Like, what if someone likes the things I'm reading from this Daily Laws book? They're like, ooh, I like that. I'm gonna buy that book. I'm gonna do what this guy's doing. I'm gonna read it a page a day, every day, as the year goes by. I try to apply all these things to my life to better myself. What if that generates sales? I mean, as an author, I would want that. Or whoever owns the copyright to the book. I don't know how all the business side. I'm not business minded, so I don't know how it works. But whoever owns the rights to the book, it makes money off of each sale. It's probably the publisher. You would think you would want that, big dummies. Like, what if I sing a song somebody likes and I say who the artist is? Somebody hears that and like, oh, I'm gonna go download that. So now I'm helping generate downloads. You don't want that? That seems counterproductive. That's what happens when you get too nitpicky with all this BS. Now there's a negative repercussion to it. All right, how far is this gonna go? Imagine if you could copyright your whole life. Can't say or do anything I did, or else you gotta pay me. It's probably a terrible analogy, but still, kind of get the point. Oh, this fellow. I'm going a tad slower than I like. That's alright, I gotta get over it anyways. Even that guy went around him. It's funny. Get out of the way! That was a Tesla driver, though. Tesla drivers always drive fast. I've noticed. I've heard of something called, I don't know if this is accurate. It might be inaccurate, but I think there's some, I don't even know how factually legal this might even be. But I've heard of something called like the poor man's copyright. Because it costs money to copyright something. There's some sort of fee. But what I've heard is like people who like are creatives, like artists, like say a musician or a writer or something like that. I've heard that they've taken like their manuscript or like a master of maybe some sort of music production they've made, and they'll mail it to themselves. So that creates like a timestamp of original date of creation. So when they receive it back in the mail, they don't open it. They just store it away. So in the future, if anybody happens to like claim that they made that song or wrote that novel or whatever, you have a piece of time-stamped recorded history in the form of an unopened package of what you've created. They call it the poor man's copyright. I don't know if that's real, and I don't know how legally binding that might be, but it's out there if you look it up. I don't know how much it might even cost to officially copyright something. It must cost a lot that someone had to make something a workaround like that. That's what I heard. Oh man. Yeah, I heard about that when I used to make music. So I used to back up all the tracks that I made onto, well, back then, this was so long ago. This is when DVD burners were first coming out in computers. It's such old technology. This doesn't even matter anymore. But that's what I used to store all my stuff on because it was, I forget how many gigs. Like, I don't know why I want to say like 4.3 gigs was how much a DVD could hold. Probably wrong. Probably misremembering that. But you could fit a lot of MP3s on there. So that's why I used a rewritable DVD. And back then, that was new technology, cutting edge. I don't even think you could buy DVD players anymore. Not brand new, like in a store. That's how out of date those are. So now I'm just dating myself. Now you can pretty much figure out how old I am by that. If you really wanted to. Going up the hill. This is where it starts to get cold. So am I, Drake. Went down the wrong pipe. Oh, that was terrible. Doing 58. Is that accurate? Yeah, that's kind of accurate. I don't know why sometimes that thing works and sometimes it doesn't. Man. So yeah, that's like a speed, like a radar speed tracker. Because technically all this area right here is under construction. It's been under construction forever. I honestly don't think they're going to ever do construction. You want to put your tinfoil hat on. I think it's because they want to catch people speeding so they can give tickets. But anyways, that speed tracker, right now it's accurately tracking speed. But for the longest time, no matter how fast you were going, it would just say 55 miles an hour. Because there's a sign above it saying that's the max speed limit because it's a construction zone. Man. But now it seems to be working, and every once in a while it'll do that. It'll start working again, and then watch, probably like a month or two from now, it'll be stuck again at 55 no matter how fast you're going. It's been doing that since as long as I've been coming out to this job. The weirdest thing. And it's funny too, driving on this freeway, I've been seeing this freeway slowly deteriorate. Especially in the lanes that the trucks drive. And I'm pretty sure this freeway was damaged pretty good during the earthquake. So I've been seeing the cracks get a little bit worse over time. But yeah, going back to what I read in the morning. When I first got to this job, I thought it was weird. Not weird, but it was different. Everybody says good morning to each other. And I was still kind of in a little bit of a dark place in my head, which I finally seem to have gotten out of. Just maybe in the past, I don't know. Let's say since I've gotten back from the pandemic, I've been back at this job for like maybe, I know it's over a year, maybe 2. I'm terrible at keeping track of time. Anyways, when I was first here and everybody was saying good morning to each other, it just felt so like fake. Because everybody was doing it. I'm like, yeah. It was weird. It was foreign to me, so it just felt fake. Like, oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I'd say it back, but didn't really, I didn't feel like the good morning. But now, like these days, like I don't feel that way. Like my happiness is genuine, which I don't ever really remember feeling like this ever in life, to be honest. I've had spurts of genuine happiness, but then it would, like during my childhood, it would all just get destroyed by my parents' behavior. And then later in life, when I was older and married, I just had to fake being happy. And then I would substitute that with ganja. That was a little bit of faux happiness and a little puff of ganja. But since I don't need that anymore, it's odd to just be genuinely happy. It just feels not odd. It's just it's different. That's why I was saying I think everybody would probably think I'm a goofball at work. I'm just happy and laughing all the time. So I don't feel the need. There's no need to be depressed or feel dark in my head or. That feels good. I like being this way better. That's why it seems like when you read through like all that period of time where everybody was like in the king's court, I think people were miserable with their lives, and the intrigue and drama of other people's secrets and all this stuff is like that was more interesting than the miserable life that they were living. If you weren't like royalty, you were a peasant. Like, it was a very sharp divide in the social strata of the time. That's why people like soap operas and all like the gossip drama of whatever, the entertainment business, celebrity life. That's why publications like the Inquirer even had any kind of fans, because all that was nothing but drama. Most of it all completely made up and fake. Like they have a slogan: "Inquiring minds want to know." Is that copywritten? Like, can you even say a slogan that? Slogans can be copywritten, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or trademarked. One of those. Like, pretty sure it's going to be interesting to see where all this goes now that they've done that. You can't verbally sing a song in a video. Then in my head I was like, well, what if you just say the words? Like, just say it without any musical melody. Interesting world. Intellectual property. I think all this falls under that category to some degree. I thought of it. I own it. Like one of the guys I listened to, one of the podcasts called Tinfoil Hat. He didn't come up with that phrase, but since his podcast is called that, does he own the rights to that title now? That phrase has been around forever. I say it quite a lot. I have tinfoil hat thinking, for sure. Do I have to stop saying that? At least in the recorded fashion? Like I can't say it on a video? Huh? Trademarked, copywritten. Give him a strike. How far does this go? And it should be YouTube's job to police people like that. Like I said, I would understand if like somebody hears it, somebody reports it to the artist who made the song. Say I sing a song on this video. It should be the artist's responsibility to have to do the legwork to report that. I would think. Right? No, maybe not. Probably wrong. But it just seems retarded. Like I said, you're giving the artist more exposure. Isn't that what you want? Like, what if I was like somebody like a fan that likes to find new music, and I want to get it out there. I would think the artist would want me to be like, man, I heard this song by this person. It goes like this, and sing a little bit of it. It sounds so good. Oh, everybody go out there and check it out. And now they're getting all this exposure because of it. I should be rewarded for that. The artist should be able to be like, hey, man, that guy really helped me out. Give him a little kickback. I don't know. Who am I? I don't know business. Everybody just wants their hand in the cookie jar. Whatever. Whatever. Doesn't mean anything. You're not gonna die anyway. You just can't take any of it with you. There I go. Getting dark again. All right. I've made it to work. I'm gonna have a fantastic day. I hope everybody else does too. Let's go to work.